You're probably wondering what a blow-in from Shropshire knows about agritourism, and I must admit I've asked myself that very same question a lot this last couple of days. But we'll go a bit of a whistle-stop tour. So where it all started, we're just outside of Whitchurch in Shropshire, and our local bypass was being installed. And back in 1991, there's a slip of a lad in the middle there. That's me and my father and the workman at the time. So we were digging potatoes, taking the potatoes off. They were digging the bypass. And so we were basically left with a gravel pit, which nobody really knew what to do with. Mother and father were are the business, still the business. And they insisted that it was landscaped and planted and made to look nice. So this is where we are. For those of you that don't know, probably the easiest way for most of you to know where we are is we're 20 minutes from Harper. But it's a good location for where we are, what we do. We're actually an hour from Birmingham, an hour from Manchester, half an hour from Shrewsbury, half an hour from Chester. So I was very fortunate in that I was able to do a Nuffield a million years ago, back in 2010. And I studied collaboration and alliances. If anybody wants to do a Nuffield that's under 45, do it. It's awesome. Best thing you'll ever do. So I joined the business in 2011. Mum and Dad were running the lake as a fishery, and I joined the business and became the most hated man in Shropshire when I stopped the fishing in the lake and I opened it as a café. So we ran the café, or I ran the café for quite a while. We got up to about 30 staff, and we were running various events at that time, albeit car boots, things like that. And we did wild swimming, which we charged for, but I'm sure that's quite alien to you all up here. Fundamentally, though, the lake was free to walk round, and we hoped that people would call in to the cafe, have some lunch, have a coffee, and then go. The business was doing fine. We had about 5,000 Facebook followers at that time. And then COVID, the worst of times. Didn't know what to do with myself. Owed a load of money. I'd always run the business like a farm. You know, you pay people at the end of the month, but we were taking money on day one. Sorry, Laura, can I trouble you for a water? Sorry. So we closed. We had to put the closed signs up. Just didn't know what to do. Like I say, we owed a load of money. Thank you. But it was actually a really, really good time as well. It gave us real opportunity to look at the business, to reflect, to see what we were doing, see what worked, and like it was said yesterday, actually learn to breathe again. And I think, secretly, I really loved it. So, in this time of being closed, what did we do? We altered the cafe. We ripped all the walls out of the cafe. We went from 35 covers in the cafe to 85. We knew that when we opened again, this wasn't going to last forever. We wanted to expand the business. I became the most hated man in Shropshire again. I started charging people to walk around our lake. And this was something that really didn't go down well. And we got it wrong first time. We charged people to come and walk. And everybody knew that you could go and walk for free anywhere. But actually, when we changed it to admission, and it was a day admission, then actually people could understand what they were paying for. And then in COVID, the sun came out, and guess what? Everybody wanted to go and sit by the water, go wild swimming, and it was something that we could do whilst still maintaining the social distancing that was there. Excuse me. So we were getting about 3,000 people a day wanting to come in, and we were just totally blown away by how much demand there was for it. we had to go down the different route. We had to get people booked in and try and understand. So we were going with ticket script. We were trying lots and lots of different things at the time. And then we decided we were going to rent a 15-person aquapark. And that was going to be our foray into water sports, if you like. So pivot points, they're called pivot points nowadays. It's just changed for the rest of us. You probably don't know the icon on the top left, but that's been one of the biggest pivot points for our business. Roller, it's a booking system. You've probably used it going to a trampoline park or booking things online. So we actually, we implemented that into our business. So it allowed us to organize schedules, take people's money in advance, create the booking platform that everybody could use, which linked to our website. So bearing in mind pre-COVID, we'd probably got about 5,000 Facebook followers. Everybody was coming to the lake, 3,000 people a day, all taking pictures of themselves swimming at the lake and putting it on social media. So the Facebook and the Instagram together combined just became our advertising platform, and within 3 months we'd got 30,000 followers, which is great when it's great. It's pretty awful when it's awful if you're getting it wrong. But also with Roller, it allowed us to get people to sign a waiver. So insurance were happy we were putting people into the lake. So they're signing a waiver. Everybody still now to this day signs a waiver when they come in. And then probably one of the other things that allowed us to change was we just bought some boats. Allowed us to get access to the islands. And it doesn't sound like much, but actually from that we started doing escape rooms, a bit like an escape room but on an island. So we were building structures on the islands, taking people over, hourly slots. And so it was just a USP that we were locking people in these rooms and giving them these challenges to climb through fireplaces and into cages and all sorts and whatever. It was, still is quite weird. But people enjoy it, and it allows people to have a dry experience at our site. Then we realized, well, actually we could do this as Halloween as well. So why aren't we taking people over for Halloween, and we'll scare the hell out of them as well and do that. So those were sort of the pivot points that really changed and helped us to build the business. The social media, definitely the biggest thing. People know what you're doing. They can sit at home. They can look to see what their friends have been doing that day. They're on the sofa. You can make it so easy. We link the roller system with the social media, and it's fine. Probably the other biggest pivot point that I haven't put on there, which I'm a bit rubbish at this, is the aquapark. We then went and bought a big aquapark, so we're 135 people an hour through the aquapark. But yeah, I've missed that off, sorry. So what we learned was summer was great for us. We knew what we were doing in summer. If the sun shone, we'd get 3,000 people a day, and the best thing to sell tickets and get people to come is just to put a sold-out sign up and stop people from coming. The next day, they're there a bit earlier. The day after that, they're there a bit earlier, until, you can get 3,000 people in by about 9:30, which it's just that psychology of it all. But sort of back to front here, we know, Halloween's become a big part of the year. That event sold out this year. Bonfire and fireworks sold out this year. 5,500 people to that. Ice skating it makes a little bit of money, but it does drive a lot of footfall. It's become our winter version of our summer aquapark. So we're good with dealing with numbers. So probably the proudest thing that we've done is the Santa experience. So now our boat trip, take the kids over to the islands. We've written our own newspaper, and we write our own storybook for it, and we give the kids the toys, and then we've built a toy workshop. We've got the naughty elves running around. There's 30 actors on the islands, and it's a big interactive experience for the kids. The stress in my life at the moment is the ice bar. It launches on Thursday. Haven't quite finished building it yet, but I've come because Caroline said so. We don't always get it right. I mean, aquabikes, yeah, well, I'm going to be short on time, but some of the things that we really got it wrong, probably the most important one on there, we got the staffing wrong when we grew the business. We had real conflict with some staff wanting to do this, that, and the other, and hadn't got clear defined roles. So just if you're growing a business, really make sure that your staff are on board, come with you, and it'll be easy. Yeah, car parking as well. I became the most hated man in Shropshire again for that. This is something that we decided we'd get 3,000 people a day. Why don't we have a festival? Of course we could sell a festival. That'd be easy. We'll get McFly, we'll get Sam Ryder, and we'll just get on and do it. So this has become my most expensive hobby in that we have done 3 years so far and we've not made a penny yet. And it'll cost us about 450,000 for the 2 days to put on. But I think with my farmer mentality, this is the year. This is the year, definitely. How am I doing for time? 2 minutes, that'll do. So Caroline asked if I put some stats in. So you could see where we were. So I started the business in 2011. Dad gave me £10,000 and said, there you go, get on with it. So I've never had to go back to him. And you can sort of see where we've got the growth in the business. But I think fundamentally, I never really realized it, but we're over 50% of the business now is online. People sitting at home on their phones of an evening is the biggest tool that we've got. And they just like to see a nice image, and they like to click on, oh, we'll go, and it just snowballs. So that increase there, I think, is mostly because of Facebook and Instagram. And as farmers, it's just one of those things we don't engage with customers. We send the lorries off and bye, and I think it's that keeping that, making that, telling that story and getting into people's homes, getting them involved with that purchasing decision. And this year does look a bit bad, but it's only to October, and we're about to launch into our biggest Christmas yet. So fingers crossed, that farmer mentality again, we're good. Everything that we've done over this period of time has all come from cash flow as well. So we haven't gone back to the bank and borrowed any more, which again sort of goes against the grain a lot of the time. But we have a saying at the lake that if you're good enough, you're old enough. So we've got a great young team. There's only one of them that's over 30. And they're all now managers within the business, and myself at 48 is now feeling a bit old. And it's where do we go next? And I want to take more of a step back, give these guys the opportunity. It's ended at 4 o'clock in the morning in a casino in Birmingham. We didn't even win. But the only advice I'd say is I was always told, employ better people than yourself. And I've certainly done that with this team. And as I step back and leave these two in the middle at the bottom, we're now working on plans for them to move it forward again because I feel like I've got too old. So it'd be interesting to see where they go and what they do. But it has become a real work family, and we do look after each other. It's a great buzz. Am I on time? 1 minute. Thank you. So, and with that, so we do actually have permission for a hotel and lodges, spa and pub and bits and bobs, which we've got in place. I don't know whether I'm going to be pulling the trigger on that or whether it needs some new enthusiasm and some borrowing to take that on. I've sort of feel like I am getting a bit too old for this and just want a bit more time. But anyway, thank you for listening. I'll make you some time up. How's that? So we'll see what Mr. Starmer's got planned for us, but we'll keep going. Just as an aside, think what you've got here, I've only been here for 24 hours, but it's I love it. We haven't got it in England. It doesn't happen. You've got a real champion in Caroline. That peer-to-peer learning, I think, is great. You can feel the knowledge just seeping through in the room. And you can soon tell when there's a bit of bullshit around. And it's nice to see that it actually happens. And I think that England is way, way, way behind this. And I think you should keep leaning on the minister for as much as you can. And you've certainly got a champion in Caroline and her team. So, well done. And anybody's welcome to Shropshire. I should have put my email on there, but if anybody wants to ask me anything or do anything, come and see us. I'm rob@alderford.com. And somebody's got a lucky ticket under a chair in the whole giving thing to Alderfest this next year. So if you stand up and have a look under your chair, somebody's got and I'll sit down. Thank you very much.